This conference will now be recorded.
Ours is like marble size.
All right, good morning, everyone. I've got 9:34. We'll go ahead and call this regular meeting of the KTMPO Transportation Planning Policy Board to order at this time. Noting that we do have a forum. Next item on our agenda is public comment. Is there anyone here in person that would like to address the board this morning? Seeing and hearing none, is there anyone online that would like to address the board?
For 10 members online, no public comments, sir.
Great, thank you very much. The next item on our agenda is an action item regarding the approval of the minutes from the April 17th, 2024 meeting. That should have been on pages 8 through 10 of your packet.
I'd make a motion that we approve the minutes.
We've got a motion to approve
Second the motion.
and a second. Is there any other discussion on item number 3?
Actually, it may be inappropriate for me to second since I wasn't at the meeting.
It is not inappropriate. You're at this
I'll
meeting.
still second it.
Okay, so we still have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. Item number 4 is a discussion and action item regarding the approval of the FY 2025 through 28 Transportation Improvement Program TIP. Should be on pages 12 through 20 of your packet. I'm going to turn that over to James.
Thank you, Judge. Yes, this is the draft tip, well, the final draft tip. We have completed public involvement for it. This is the same, or there's been some minor changes, but it's no major material changes since we began this in March before public involvement. There has been a small change to the schedule. Originally, we thought we needed to submit this by June 18th, but it's been moved back to July 1st for the submittal date to TxDOT. There was an updated final draft version sent out. I think we actually, yesterday we were checking it again and realized that there were 4 of the statewide selected transportation alternative projects that were approved to be added to the current TIP that were missing, so we've added those in, but it's not affecting. Other than that, everything is the same, and those were approved in May to be added to the current TIP, so we just need to carry them over into the new TIP. There is a summary of comments that we received. There were a few of those. That's pages 13 to 17, or 13 to 19 in your packet. Someone requested a copy of the TIP. Someone had a question about US 190 in Lampasas County and when that would become I-14. And then an email with some recommendations. Staff did respond to that email. Most of them were not, did not have specific things to do with the TIP, more just general transportation comments. Here's a schedule for approval of the TIP. After today, once the TxDOT opens up the East TIP for submittal, we will post everything there and have their questions.
Questions, comments, concerns for James or the staff? If there are none, I would entertain a motion to approve the TIP.
To approve.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion on item number 4? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you, James. Item number 5 on the agenda is a discussion and action item regarding the approval of the 2050 Metropolitan Transportation Plan, MTP, for the fiscal constraints. And again, I will turn that over to James.
This is a follow-up item from last month. We presented the fiscal constraints, TAC. We presented this to TAC and they wanted some more time to review and ask questions. And so we're bringing it back again for approval. The recommendations from staff are the same. You'll see on page 23 of your packet. And also on the screen here, the 10-year UTP constraints that we use for our short-range funding. And then on the next pages, there is long-range funding scenarios. We use the trends model. The staff recommendation is the default scenario. See it here. It's that upper left quadrant. And this item is important because when we finalize the draft MTP, these are the numbers that we'll be using for our project listing. We normally use the UTP, that's what we use for our TIP, but this long-range scenario is what we'll put for the project listing. It's an important component of getting our MTP approved. If there are any questions, the recommendation is to approve the short-range UTP targets for the short-range funding fiscal constraint, and then the default scenario of the trends model for the long-range fiscal constraint.
Thank you, James. Questions, comments, or concerns? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve how did you phrase it?
The UTP for the short-range fiscal constraint and the trends default scenario for the long-range fiscal constraint.
What James said. Got a motion to approve?
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion on item number 5? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. Item number 6, again, is a discussion and action item regarding the approval of the 2023 project called Final Scores and Project Rankings for the 2050 MTP project list. Again, that would be pages 30 through 33 of your packet.
Yes, thanks, Judge.
Yes, James.
Thank you, Judge.
James.
It's been a little bit of a road, but we are finally here with the final scores and rankings. At the TAC meeting 2 weeks ago, in the scoring guidelines that we have, that they have the option to assign bonus points and vote on bonus points to add to projects. There were no votes or addition of bonus points to the projects. So the rankings that you see for the major roadway, minor roadway livability on pages 31, 32, 33, those are the final rankings and project scores. And we are seeking approval of those scores and rankings from the board.
Questions, comments, or concerns for the James and the staff on the rankings? And you're just ready to get out of here today. I thought this was going to be kind of a social event, and obviously it is not.
It's not the first time we've discussed this particular.
If there are no questions, comments, or
If you want
concerns.
discussion, we could vote to move a couple of these things around.
If you can just-
Motion to approve.
We've got a motion to approve. Thank you, Mayor Davis.
Second that motion.
And there is a second. Any further discussion on item number 6? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. Item number 7, again, discussion and action item regarding approval of the 2023 project call funding scenario for the FY 25 through 28 TIP and the 2050 MTP. Acronyms.
That's a lot of them.
Take it away.
Yeah. Thank you, Judge. Follow-up item from last month's discussion about funding scenarios. We presented 4 scenarios, and then based on discussion with the TAC and Policy Board, made some tweaks to those scenarios. So you'll see there are 3 new scenarios. We also included scenario 4, which was the base scenario we used to develop these. Scenario 5, 6, and 7. I can go into an overview of those if the board would like, but the recommendation from TAC was scenario 7 to approve scenario 7. I will mention scenario 6 is in the event that there are no category 2 funds available, or those are all taken by another project, namely 35 expansions between Killeen-Temple. This is what we would have available to spend with just Cat 7. That is why that is in there. I think that decision would be made down the road, and there's some other things going on with 35. But that is why that scenario is in there. The only change to scenario 7 from the TAC was Temple requested that the Third Street sidewalk project be swapped for the Georgetown Railroad Trail project in the same amount. The estimated cost is the same for that project. Yeah, so here is the TAC recommended scenario. And instead of me just spouting off a lot of information, I'll answer questions if there are questions about these scenarios.
Thank you, James. Any questions for James or the staff? Comments, concerns?
So if TxDOT comes in with a Cat 12 for that expansion, when do you think they would do that?
So what we submitted, the request was for this UTP, that FY25 UTP, which will be approved at the end of August. Okay. So that would be a good idea, August, September timeframe.
If that comes in, then we essentially go to number 6, right?
I think then we would bring it back to the board of some.
No, I'm just saying, I'm not saying you have proven it now, it's just, based on what we discussed, that's what I understood.
Well, the board doesn't have to put additional funding on 35. That would have to be another discussion about how to use the category 2 funds, so yeah. But yes, I think in that scenario, would likely have to put a significant amount of Cat 2, which would reduce the amount available for these other projects.
And I do want to be clear too, because of the timeline of when we submitted the UTP request and when this project call is complete, any Cat 2 changes we're going to apply to these projects won't take effect until the FY26 UTP, which will be next August of 25.
That conceivably affect phase 2.
That one's already programmed with Cat 2, so the extra Cat $2 are not. Won't affect that.
Any other questions, comments, concerns?
I'll make one more just following Victor's. This is just to approve the funding scenario. We're not actually all these projects are not able to be added to the TIP that we just approved. We'll be adding them as an amendment in the fall when we are able to amend the TIP, except for the category 2 projects, which will have to wait a little bit longer. So there's going to be a delay, and you'll see these again before they're added to the short range plan.
James, I think that'll answer the question that a lot of people have been asking me is that, what year do we get this money with the project? And the answer is, we'll tell you when we know.
Yes.
Thank you.
Very good. There's no other discussion. I would consider a motion to approve the 2023 project call funding scenario.
Motion to approve as presented, project called scenario.
We have a motion to approve
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. Item number 8 on the agenda is a discussion item regarding Chapter 2 and Chapter 5 of the KTMPO 2050 MTP. It can be referenced on pages 42 and 43 of this packet. James?
So we're working on the narrative portion of the MTP. There are 2 chapters that have been completely rewritten. They were very out of date. Chapters 2, which outlines kind of goals, objectives, how we develop the plan or are developing the plan. And then Chapter 5, which is on transit, and Daryl and Raymond and their team have helped us out with rewriting that. Those 2 were sent out with the other packet materials for review. If you do have comments on those, please send those to staff. Do have, this is the proposed schedule for update. It's a little different than what we originally had. Uriah and I were discussing, and since our MTP will be lapsing for a brief period, we wanted to try and get the new MTP approved as quickly as possible. And so we will be starting public engagement on June 3rd. That is before the June TAC and Policy Board meetings. We will, in accordance with the PEP, the newly approved PEP, be sending out notice and letting everybody know we'll have a draft available to send to the TAC and Policy Board. There'll be a chance to review at the June meetings and then consideration of adoption at the July meetings. I do have a few slides here just on chapters 2 and kind of the development process and the goals and value statements and vision statement for the MTP. This was discussed by the steering committee. We had 3 or 4 meetings and there was a lot of great work done and helping staff, but this is, we can send these slides up, but this is the process we did to review what we had before, and then draft a vision statement and identify some key values and develop some goals and strategies. Here are the old ones. A lot of them were carried over, and the old vision statement that was a little bit not in tune with the times. So here's a new vision statement that the KTMPO Mobility 2050 MTP will foster an innovative and sustainable multimodal transportation system that prioritizes safety, bolsters economic vibrancy, and enhances quality of life for Central Texas. I know innovative and sustainable were some big words that we wanted to include in our vision statement. There are 6 key values. Equity, the plan want to be fiscally responsible with the plan. Innovation and the ability to adapt as quickly as you can. Transportation doesn't adapt very fast, but we can set ourselves up to adapt. We want to do that. Quality of life, regional coordination, and public engagement, and then future growth and having a data-driven piece. And those statements kind of flesh out those ideas a little bit more. And then the 6 goals, and these are more tied to the performance measures that we have, and we wanted them to be as specific as we could. There's a little bit of subjectivity with environment, maybe in innovation technology, but as specific as we could. This is what we tried to go for with the goals, and there's strategies for each of those. And all of this is listed in chapter 2, describe the process of getting here. And then this last slide kind of covers everything, the vision statement, the value statements, and the goals. So staff are currently working on the rest of the chapters in the MTP, and this slide here and these values, this vision statement, these goals are what we'll be going back to make sure what's in there is in alignment. If it's not in alignment, we'll be making minor changes to the information. Just wanted to give the board a little bit of idea of the plan, structure, how it's being built. Happy to answer questions.
Questions, comments, concerns for James or the staff?
Yeah, James, I really, and staff, thank you for, well, all of them, but innovation and technology, publicly stating that we're thinking of technology and changing ways that people move around. I think it's really good to have that highlighted there.
Thanks.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 9 on the agenda, which again is a discussion item regarding an update on the Safer Streets and Roads for All SS4A grant. James.
I don't have much to update. There is some updated in-kind numbers in here, but I do want to pass it off to Anita really quickly and on a public engagement update with our SS4A. There's been a lot of good work done, and I'll let her give a little report.
Thank you so much, James. This past weekend, we spent some time in Hamilton, and it's just a great little city, and a lot of people very concerned about transportation there. And so our overall numbers for our survey on our website, we've had 2,626 total visits, 213 comments related to that interactive mapping where they have mapped hotspots, and survey responses for a total of 240. So every week we're just seeing the numbers rise a little bit. Sometimes they take huge jumps, And then sometimes they just trickle in one or two. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for supporting the Safe Streets and Roads for All, because it's your people that are making these comments.
Thanks, Anita. Yeah, I think the word is getting out. People care about safety. We care about safety. And I know Killeen-Temple and us, we've started reaching out about the projects that were approved last month to have some kickoff meetings with the different cities. And those are happening in the next few weeks and will continue happening until the plan's approved early next year. That's the update I have. Staff House.
Thank you, James. Questions, comments, concerns from James and staff? I just will update you that because Coryell County does tie into this piece, we have completed our safety action plan. We've submitted it to SITCOG and KTMPO staff for their review, as well as to be able to integrate that into Killeen-Temple what they're creating for as a regional plan. So all is moving along good. Any other discussion? Hearing none, moving on to item number 10, the discussion item regarding public input received through April 2024, pages 48 through 50 of your packet. James.
There are a couple of comments in here. I think one is the same, and Anita, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the same as what we received for the tip. Is that first one? Is it the same?
Yes, that's correct.
The email, and then a request for about information on transit rides between Troy and Temple, which we've checked with Daryl and his team, and I think they've reached out to that individual.
Comments, questions, concerns for James and staff on public comments?
I need a quick question. Like this first one, you send them to our localities when somebody posts?
Yes, yeah, if there's like specific places mentioned, or it's whoever it's relevant to, we try and share the email, the comments. So you know what, Colleen, we would share it with, Anita?
Probably, Andrew.
Andrew and Edwin, I think.
On the first one?
Yeah.
That was more Harper Heights, I think.
Yeah, that's Harper Heights, Text Oscillato. I didn't have any in here for this time.
Yes, we do share it with staff, probably Andrew and Edwin, if we need to share it, I would think.
I think that we share them with someone that would be in the technical area.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 11, director and staff updates. I'm going to turn that over to James.
I'm not the director, but I'm the stand-in director today. We have upcoming board meetings here. I did want to mention the June policy board meeting scheduled for June 19th, which I know is a holiday for some, and so just wanted to poll the board and see if people are off that day and if we need to potentially move that to another date. So for quorum purposes.
Which day?
June 19th for Juneteenth.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Thank you.
Well, 2 days before that's my birthday, so that whole week should be off.
But then you might miss the birthday cake.
We'll bring you the cake. No, I'll take the cake.
Oh, a change of opinion like that.
Yeah, we're on that day.
Do we have conflicts with, I mean, is that most everybody's?
It's a great holiday.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we should.
Is there a month in between June and July called Jule? Jule tide?
We don't necessarily have an action item on this, but what I would propose to the board is we'll get with staff to come up with a recommended date and get that emailed out to you to kind of poll the audience to see your availability on dates that are.
So we're saying we're not meeting the 19th?
I think that's
Correct.
probably the conclusion that we're coming up with. We're not going to, we'll just say it, we're not going to meet the 19th. Yes, so yes, ma'am.
Okay,
The answer is no, we are not going to meet on the 19th.
okay.
And the staff will come up with a couple of alternate dates. We'll get those sent out and see what the best feedback is. Okay. Way to go, James.
Yes,
Good call.
thanks, Judge. A few other updates. The MPO and with SIGCOG has applied for a Texas Veterans Commission grant to provide transit, some funding to help veterans get around and use the HOPS transit system. We had a meeting yesterday with Raymond and Daryl to talk about all of that. We haven't received, the grant hasn't been approved yet, but we're thinking there's high likelihood that it will be approved. And so that'll be a new service coming out, and we're working with the Area Agency on Aging here at the COG to help with that program. So that's coming. Also on Hill Country Transit, they're doing a lot of trainings for their new microtransit services and bus services. There's going to be one here June 20th at 2:30 for local agency staff. And just want to make the board aware of that. We'll probably get some more information or reminder from us from Hill Country. And then a couple info items. Last week, myself and another staff member were in Albuquerque for the Info Technical Training Symposium. It's about 200 other planners from around the country, a lot of interesting topics from AI to safety and data. And it was a good resource, a lot of great information. And then Urian wants to, if people are interested or willing, there is the annual conference in Salt Lake City in September, and that is open to board members. If you're interested in attending that, he's very much willing to work with the board to get some members to attend that along with staff. So the last thing I have is air quality, and for the month of April, the Temple station was 51 parts per billion, and the Clean station was 56 parts per billion. And that's all I have for staff updates.
Can you back up just 1 second, I'm sorry. July 24th meeting, that's the fourth Wednesday. I keep getting schedules.
Yes,
So
we moved the July meetings each back a week because the TAC meeting was going to
Okay.
conflict with July 4th.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to confirm that. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Oh, I actually have one more thing, Judge. Hope Davis, who is, all get emails from, this is actually her last meeting. She is moving and her last day will be next week. And so on that note, I mention it because you will now be getting emails from Cali, and you're going to get a cancellation of all the upcoming ones. They're not canceled. You're just going to get a new invite from Cali, and want to let everybody know so that there's no calendar confusion, because that's the thing. I just want to thank Hope for all that she's done. She's been a really great resource and done a lot for the region. So appreciate her time and wish her best in her future endeavors.
Very good. Any questions, comments, concerns over director and staff updates? Hearing none, brings us to item number 12, member comments. Comments from the board. You know, I can't let you get away without giving something to you. About 10 days ago, Coryell County took it in the shorts, so to speak, with a significant weather event. Many of you have reached out to us, and I want to express my heartfelt thanks and appreciation for your comments and concerns. And Victor, since you are the designated representative, a very, very heartfelt thank you for the response we got from TxDOT. I believe I'm correct in saying that every state road in Coryell County was closed at some point during a 72-hour period. That includes US Highway 84, Highway 36, Farm Markets 107, 116. When I say it was devastating, it was truly devastating. And the response that we got from TxDOT and many of our partnering communities it was phenomenal. I mean, truly phenomenal to see the repairs that were going on in such a rapid fashion. So I sincerely thank y'all for your thoughts, prayers, and the outreach that y'all gave us. And that's all I've got.
Your cattle are in our backyard.
Yeah.
They passed us that, something still happens.
There's some cattle and some trees. I'm still trying to hunt down hay bales personally.
There's a cove on the Lake Belton over there close to Mora.
I was gonna say, if you're out on the lake and you see some hay bales floating along, give me a call. You know, every little round dot helps, you know. Oh, good times, good times. Any other comments? Again, thank you all for your time. I have 10:04 and we stand adjourned.